The national debt stood at $19.9 trillion. It is now over $39 trillion. The fiscal floodgates are being thrown wide open.
Why buy? Because we want to separate money and state. And so Bitcoin's going to win. Incentive is going to latch on to human nature and the grassroots, and from the top as well. It's going to meet in the middle, and Bitcoin's going to devour the globe because of latching on to human nature and incentives.
Bitcoin's resilience tells you everything about what this asset is and what it is becoming. You might want to get some before it catches on. Hello, and welcome back to Bitcoin News Weekly. I'm your host, Rob Wallace. Very excited to be here with you today. We woke up and Bitcoin exploded on the news of possible peace in the Middle East. But before we get going with that, there's a big problem, and that's the national debt exploding higher above $39 trillion. We got our show today, Bitcoin News Weekly. We break down all the biggest headlines in Bitcoin. And of course, this is part of the Daily Stack. We are live 12:30 p.m. Eastern every single weekday, bringing you the biggest news in Bitcoin, AI, macro, stocks, everything that you care about. We got it all right here. So let's dive right in. When Donald Trump was first sworn into office in January 2017, the national debt stood at $19.9 trillion. It is now over $39 trillion. We are less than 10 days from the 10-year anniversary of Trump's campaign promise to eliminate the national debt within 8 years. And it was instead roughly doubled. It appears Trump has also given up on his campaign promise of no new wars. We are on the verge of escalating tensions in the Middle East to levels not seen since Operation Iraqi Freedom, with the Pentagon requesting an additional $200 billion for operations in Iran on top of a $1.5 trillion defense budget. The fiscal floodgates are being thrown wide open. Maybe even more alarming than the debt total itself is the new cost of carrying it. Net interest on the national debt is projected to exceed $1 trillion in fiscal year 2026. That's nearly triple the $345 billion we paid in 2020 prior to COVID. And over the next 30 years, the government is projected to spend nearly $100 trillion on interest alone. And of course, nothing balloons the debt and creates new money like war. In World War I, U.S. money supply went up 117%. In World War II, up 200%. The avalanche is coming as 9 in 10 Americans now say that this debt is directly driving up their cost of living. And while gold stole the show in 2025, since the outbreak of the Iran conflict, this market has made a choice. Gold is down 16%, while Bitcoin is up 11%. People fleeing the Middle East are liquidating their gold as it's too heavy and too hard to move. Instead, they're buying Bitcoin. The debt was already exploding. Now we have a conflict on the precipice of erupting into a much larger war. Bitcoin's resilience tells you everything about what this asset is and what it is becoming. You might want to get some before it catches on. All right, today I am very glad to be joined by a good friend of the program. We got Gus, BTC Gus. How you doing, man?
Very good, brother. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to finally see you online, but still in kind of live. I would like to thank you for all you do, because it shows like you that really, whenever the normie types in Bitcoin, they'll find it and they'll know the right information.
Cheers, man. Thank you. And really appreciate you and what you do for the Bitcoin community. Very few people are as vocal as you are, getting out there every single day saying, hey, I work hard. I turn my fiat into Bitcoin to save for my family, for my kids, and to provide a better future for those I care about. So tell us, the audience, a little bit about your Bitcoin journey and how you became such a hardcore Bitcoiner yourself.
Yep. So my investment journey started as an investment thing. My wife always begged me to invest, and so I had no idea what to do. So my friend one time came over and we downloaded Robinhood and made a pact to buy $100 of whatever we were going to buy, whatever investment. And eventually, of course, I saw something go from 15,000, boom, skyrocketing to 64,000. That's 2021. And of course, I bought some and I was scared to death because I didn't know what it was. And then I found someone called Michael Saylor that I'm sure everybody knows who he is. And I've been following his strategy ever since. And We have a cleaning business. Our family cleaning business consists of 4 shareholders: my stepdad, my mom, myself, and I. And my wife too. And we buy Bitcoin every single week for the business. Whenever it has a bigger dip, we just go and buy some right away. And so that's what we do. We clean houses, provide value. And I was a full-time ambulance EMT ambulance operator for 9 years. And I went part-time to help with the business, where I'm more involved as a CFO, buying Bitcoin every single week, of course.
That's what's up, man. I think that is the future. Small businesses, in particularly, investing in Bitcoin and growing their treasuries to provide a cushion for whether the economy goes up or down. They know that Bitcoin will always be there for them. And have you, in terms of growing your business, have you promoted it online? Like, how do you get the word out about the business, your cleaning business?
Oh, we have a company that does that for us. It's a small business that also is a family business, actually operated by the wife and the husband, and they do the marketing for us through Google, mostly Google. You know, people will Google our name, cleaning business near me, and we'll be the first one to pop up because you pay Google and they'll hook you up. We have many people coming in, many new clients. We're growing. We're buying more Bitcoin. We're hiring more people, providing value for the community. And yeah, we're very proud to say why buy Bitcoin, because we want to separate money and state. And I might be just a tiny drop in the bucket as one small business with 14 employees. But what happens when 50 million small businesses decide to start doing it? And they will.
Precisely, man. Well, you also not only talk about your business, but also Bitcoin a lot. So love to get your take on the headlines that we've got today in our newsletter. As we do every single Monday, Bitcoin News Weekly comes out, hits your inbox 7 a.m. Eastern. And we've got the biggest headlines in all of Bitcoin to get you caught up. Make sure that you are up to date on everything that is happening so you can start the week fresh and ready to go. So this week's edition is entitled $39 trillion National Debt Crisis Collides with the Strait of Hormuz Showdown. So yeah, lots of crazy things happening in the world right here now, but we got to talk about Bitcoin because that's what we do. And we're going to start it off with the adoption section. So a lot of cool tidbits happening around the world of Bitcoin when it comes to adoption. First and foremost, Square. They updated its terms of service to auto-enable Bitcoin payments for eligible sellers, using Lightning for settlement, with merchants able to disable auto-conversion and keep BTC. So as we all know, last November, they turned on Bitcoin payments for their Square merchant point-of-sale terminal. And that allowed over 4 million businesses across America to accept Bitcoin. Well, now they're going to auto-enable Bitcoin payments. Before, the seller had to turn it on themselves. It was a little bit of a process. They didn't know where it was like hidden in the UX, whatever. Well, now anybody who wants to go and use their Bitcoin at a Square merchant can just go up, rock up, spend Bitcoin, and then the seller, they can either accept that Bitcoin or auto convert it into fiat. So it is very cool. This is pushing Bitcoin adoption super far ahead. Have you ever gone to a Square merchant and used Bitcoin?
I am actually a Square merchant, and nobody has used Bitcoin yet. I've had a man called Ruben Hodl. He's actually one of the BTC fam on Twitter, or Bitcoin X, and he's offered to buy my services, but it was last year, and I was so busy then, and I apologize to him. But we haven't had anyone express, except Ruben Hodl, that they want to buy our services in Bitcoin. But we always, and this is key, every single Bitcoiner who is a business owner, please tell people, hey, we accept Bitcoin. You know, do you have a Bitcoin Lightning wallet? Or if they don't know, set them up. You know, hook them up with whatever wallet you think is best. You know, Aqua Wallet, Wallet of Satoshi, whatever one, Strike, you know, whatever wallet that you prefer, and be the voice, be the change you want to be in the world. And that's what I do. Hey, do you want to pay in Bitcoin? I always offer, no matter what. I don't care your age, and that's the way I handle it. And we are, we are getting that set up as we speak.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah. So, I mean, it's funny. People don't know yet that they can pay in Bitcoin, but it's very important that you, as a merchant, are willing to go out there and tell people that they can sell. And actually, I mean, I think a lot of merchants are going to attract Bitcoin by saying Bitcoin preferred. Like, you get a discount if you pay in Bitcoin. I think that's the next step. You know, and
I'm going to do that. I like it.
You can do that. And you can push up your fiat prices a little bit just to make that discount even greater, not be too much of a hit on your pocket. Yeah, exactly. Great. Nice. Okay. Next, we got to talk about Bolts. Bolts launches USDT swaps, enabling users to send Lightning sats and receive USDT or vice versa, allowing instant non-custodial movement between Bitcoin and dollar-denominated value in seconds. So Bolts is doing a lot these days, but now it's auto swaps between Lightning to stablecoins. And there are some interesting use cases people can do this for. So you can top up your favorite crypto debit card with Lightning. Most support USDT natively, yet Lightning is nowhere to be found. So with Bolt, you can now swap Lightning to USDT and load up your card in seconds. Send Lightning straight into your bank account. Move from Lightning directly into USD in your Revolut or Zappo account. The entire flow from SAS suspendable fiat stays non-custodial until the bank credits the USD. And you can hedge volatility on your terms. Markets dipping, swap Lightning into USDT and hold USD stable value without surrendering control to anyone. And then you can accept Lightning and settle in USDT. A coffee shop running a Lightning point of sale can swap daily revenue into USDT or even directly split the settlement between USDT and Bitcoin with upcoming integration of USDT swaps and our popular Bolt BTC Pay plugin. So, yeah, I mean, what do you think about this in terms of stable coins over Lightning? Do you think that people should only be accepting Bitcoin, or do you think that this is an added benefit to have people being able to go switch back and forth?
I know the conversation around stablecoins are a little tense in the Bitcoin community, but you know what? Unfortunately, people have to realize that I'm from a third world country. My mother brought me here when I was 10 years old. I'm a proud American, but in Brazil, in South America specifically, stablecoins are exploding because of hyperinflation. We don't have the world reserve currency down there in Latin America. So what do? We run to the dollar. We buy dollars. It was illegal before Javier Milei took the presidency in Argentina. Now it's in the open air, market. He allowed people to hold it. And you know what? The future is digital. Why not have that on-ramp to Bitcoin? It's a great option. Everybody has a smartphone. Almost 6 billion people now. I think it's over 6 billion people have some sort of access to a smartphone that they use every day on a daily basis, be it in their work, in their school, wherever they are, for their livelihoods, they use a digital thing. And why not have that on-ramp to Bitcoin? It's just an on-ramp to Bitcoin. Stable coins are. Some people prefer it, and unfortunately, we have the dollar. I think we're always going to have some sort of like government token of sorts. And like Sailor said, wink, wink, nod, nod. Bitcoin is not a competitor to government currencies. It's an asset. It's a storage of value. It will become a means of exchange, but we can talk about that later if you want. But it's a good thing. I find stable coins are a very good thing. It's bringing the masses, the hundreds of millions into Bitcoin.
Yeah, they're not going away, right? And right now, it seems as if they have even a little bit more traction than Bitcoin in many regards, right? The market cap for these stable coins continues to go up. People around the world are using them. But you're right. As Bitcoiners, we do believe that this is an on-ramp to Bitcoin. A lot of Lightning wallets, you're going to be able to have stable coins and Lightning within the same place. And that just makes it so easy, especially with this swap function. Now you can turn that USDT into Bitcoin.
Everywhere. Absolutely. Yeah. Aqua Wallet, everybody has that swap function, and people are going to automatically do it. And people are very smart. They'll know that the dollar is still inflating. Even though the dollar is the best currency, it's still inflating. So people are automatically, oh, you know what? I want to save this much every week. They're going to put that into Bitcoin because of the wallets with swap function. Usually when there's a stablecoin wallet, there's a Bitcoin option right away embedded into it. So
yeah. And of course, as we all know, the best marketing for Bitcoin is number go up. So when people see the value of that Bitcoin in their wallet the number starts to go up, they're going to transfer more of that USDT into Bitcoin. And they will be much more sovereign individuals than if they just held those stable coins. Because we will talk about a website that tracks frozen stable coins in a little bit. And then on the quantum front, we've got BTQ. They deployed their first BIP360 implementation on Bitcoin Quantum Testnet, enabling quantum-resistant transactions via P2MR with 50 plus miners live, highlighting the gap between them and Bitcoin Core implementation. Interesting. Yes, a lot of the people who have been vocal about the quantum threat say that developers are not taking it seriously enough. Well, we've got BIP360, and now it is actually live on a testnet, a Bitcoin quantum testnet. So it's good to see that there is progress being made in this regard. Whether it happens within 4 years or 40 years, quantum is going to be an issue for Bitcoin at some point in the future. It's better we start testing, trying things out now than waiting until it's too late, because once Q-Day happens and quantum computing is able to break the EDSC algorithms, then it's going to be a headache. But if we're able to get quantum implementations ready, we'll be able to transfer to new quantum resistant addresses before any problems happen, and that will be good for Bitcoin. I know you do a lot of studying when it comes to Bitcoin and all of its different topics. Have you looked into quantum much?
I have not, and that's something I want to get into next. I don't know much about that, but I'm really glad that we're hearing. And I tell people, especially normies, oh, what about quantum computer? Yeah, Bitcoin is a programmable money, and we will make it quantum resistance. Just like Michael Saylor says, they're almost 2 trillion market cap now. It surpassed 2 trillion last year. I'm not worried because I know the best of the best are working Bitcoin.
Yes, indeed. But the one thing to keep in mind when it comes to quantum resistance is that in order to be quantum safe, you need to move your Bitcoin from old addresses to new ones, right? So there's going to be a line. There's going to be a lot of people in that mempool trying to get their Bitcoin transactions through. And so that could take anywhere between 3 to 6 months to move all the 20 million plus Bitcoin UTXOs out there over to new addresses. So again, we need to be proactive. We need to be taking steps now. Another hesitation is that you don't want to jump into an implementation that is too early, because there could be developments down the road that make it more efficient. And so, I mean, these new quantum addresses, like they're big in terms of the V bytes. So it takes more space on the blockchain in order to be quantum resistant. There's lots of things up in the air right now, but it's good to see people are taking steps to move forward. Nice. Now I want to talk about with you down into regulation. So some good news and some bad news when it comes to Bitcoin on the state level. The good news: North Carolina advances a bill to create a state Bitcoin reserve, allowing up to 10% allocation to Bitcoin with multi-sig custody, providing audits, public reporting, and restricted emergency use, such as during natural disasters. Oh, that's interesting. But yeah, so North Carolina, they want to create a Bitcoin reserve, and it's moving forward. We might have thought that it was those initiatives were sort of dead after Texas and New Hampshire moved forward with it last year. Well, it looks like no, there are some states that are still pursuing this, and I think Florida is on the precipice as well as North Carolina. So do you think that more states are going to go after this, even when Bitcoin price is down right now?
Yes, sir. I have no doubt about that. So all the new generations are digitally native, as Kathy Wood likes to say. They're born, raised, educated, live, work. Their school is online. Everything is online. Relationships are online. Commerce is online. You'd be surprised how many teenagers and early people in their early 20s are doing commerce online on Whatnot and Amazon and eBay, all that, Craigslist, all those websites, Facebook Marketplace, whatever. And everyone is just communicating online. Relationships, school, like I said, everything is online. Naturally, people are going to have that trend to go, everybody will go online.
They will. And when they go online, yeah, I mean, it's funny. It's like Bitcoin adoption as well as science progress one obituary at a time, right?
Exactly.
As the digital natives get more and more control, as more millennials are in places of power, such as state legislatures, we're going to see more of these initiatives move forward. And it's interesting to see. I mean, North Carolina, I guess it's a red state. And so you think that, I guess these initiatives are moving forward much faster in Republican states than they are in Democratic states, such as New York City or California.
Right. It's harsh, but truth, right? The innovation does move one funeral at a time, but it's true that as the newcomers, the new generations start taking power, they run for office, they run for local town council, be it governor, senator, house representative. In Brazil, there's already 3 attempts at a bill for Brazil to buy 1 million BTC. And people didn't talk about that much. Kazakhstan is selling gold to buy Bitcoin. It's not just in America, even though America is going to be, of course, the spearhead to do it first. And we've been doing it first. That's why I shout out to Dennis Porter. I don't know why some people criticize him. I love the guy. He is working every day in DC. Thank you, Dennis Porter, for doing all you do for Bitcoin. He's pushing Bitcoin bills. He is being a lobbyist on behalf of Bitcoiners. And so I really appreciate of people like that. And it's because of people like that states eventually most states, if not all, will do some sort of Bitcoin friendly rule. It just comes down to incentives, human nature. As the citizens and the young people start to vote, they're like, do some Bitcoin legislation, and the leaders will do it. It's natural.
Yes, indeed. And you're right. Dennis Porter, he does get some flack, I think, for maybe making announcements of announcements. But at the end of the day, he's out there pounding the pavement and doing the good work down in Washington, D.C. And another group that's doing great work in Washington, D.C. is BPI, Bitcoin Policy Institute. And they put out a warning about an amendment to a Kentucky law, HB 380, that could effectively ban self-custody by requiring hardware wallets to reset seed phrases, breaking Bitcoin security, and pushing users to custodians. So this was pretty alarming, right? So they have learned that this new law would require hardware wallet providers to allow users to reset their seed phrases on request. This would effectively outlaw self-custody in Kentucky. BPI is sending a letter to the Kentucky Senate informing them of the harmfulness of this language. This seemed to be a last-minute floor amendment to a 77-page virtual currency kiosk regulation bill. The underlying bill has political support and is expected to move through the Senate for final passage, possibly within the next week. So this mandate is technologically impossible for non-custodial wallets. Hardware wallets are specifically designed so that no one, including the manufacturer, can access or recover a user's seed phrase. Requiring a backdoor for seed phrase recovery breaks Bitcoin's fundamental security guarantees and pushes users towards centralized custodians that are vulnerable to hacks and failures. So, I mean, yeah, that's what happens with sovereign money, right? There is some risk that if you lose your seed phrase, that Bitcoin could be gone. But it gives you the freedom of knowing that Bitcoin is yours and that only those who possess that seed phrase are able to move that Bitcoin. These guys want a do-over button. I guess they're trying to look out for people who misplace their seed phrase. I mean, what do you take of all this?
That smells like a bankster cartel in the middle, telling a specific senator or rep, push that in there, put that in there. And of course, the banksters are the enemy of humanity. They're the ones who print the money to go to war. They have the money spigots. They're the reason for most problems in society. Even Jesus has done some references to that. But of course, it comes down to the First Amendment. The many federal judges declared coding speech. It is speech. It is protected under First Amendment. We see battles going on, especially with the samurai wallet guys. God bless them. God bless their families. They're in the front lines of that. I think that would go to the Supreme Court, because if I lived in that state, I live in Connecticut, but if I'm not going to comply. Unfortunately, it's going to be civil disobedience. I've never done civil disobedience ever, because we're all compliant with the law. But if it comes down to that I can't self-custody my Bitcoin, yeah, I don't think so. I'm either moving or practicing civil disobedience. I don't think it'll come to that, though, because it will go to the Supreme Court. People will say, hey, this is my First Amendment right. And you know what? Bitcoin is my religious right. I'm sorry if you people don't want to go there, but it is my religion. So, and you can't stop me from using Bitcoin and self-custody my Bitcoin.
There you go. I mean, you brought up a good point. Maybe this is some bankster lobbyists in the background pushing for this at the last minute. BPI did issue a letter to Kentucky. This just came out this morning, and they tried to, I guess, but maybe it's an honest mistake, and these guys just don't understand it. I mean, If you look at the bottom here, I mean, they try to explain what self-custody is, right? The level of user privacy is essential to ensure the security of the assets. After setup, the manufacturer has no more ability to access a user's seed phrase than a safe manufacturer has to reconstruct the combination a customer chose after taking the safe home. This design is critical for proper safekeeping of the assets. The security value of a non-custodial hardware wallet rests entirely on the assurance that no third party, including the manufacturer, can access or reconstruct the user's keys. So yeah, fundamentals of Bitcoin self-custody right here, trying to explain it to lawmakers. Let's hope they get it through their heads that this is a horrible, horrible idea and would set a bad precedent. But this is why we have people like the Bitcoin Policy Institute working on our behalf, getting the good word out, the education to those who are in the seats of power and are pressing these laws forward.
Yeah, God bless them. Thank you so much for all you guys do. And you know what? I shouldn't attribute to malice what could be attributed to stupidity or ignorance, and I'm sorry if I jumped the gun there, but usually the banksters are behind all that stuff, and maybe the senator or the person who actually wrote that in the bill, because he has to be a senator or House rep or whatever leader is doing the bill. But there's always a little bankster. Hey, you should put that in there, you know. So, but yeah, so Bitcoin's gonna win. This incentive is gonna latch on to human nature and grassroots, and from from the top as well. It's gonna meet in the middle, and Bitcoin's gonna devour the globe because of latching on to human nature and incentives.
Well, one group that definitely has bad incentives right up front is the Lazarus Group from North Korea, and they just attacked BitRefill. So BitRefill reports a March 1 cyber attack by the North Korea's Lazarus Group, resulting in hot wallet theft and limited access to 18,500 records. Operations are now largely restored, but they were drained to some extent. This is a big deal. We've got the North Koreans coming after Bitcoiners, Bitcoin organizations, anybody they can see is moving a lot of Bitcoin. The Lazarus Group wants a cut. And so it seems as if there was an employee at BitRefill who got tricked by the classic, here, join this Zoom link, and then you click on it, and then boom, they have access to your computer, right? So they got an employee's login credentials, and then they were able to go out through the whole entire back end.
Really see. Yeah, sorry. And may I say, the root of the problem, too, it goes back to tyranny, right? Because they're working under a tyrannical government who puts all of the resources on these guys, the Lazarus Group, the North Korean group. They're working directly under King Jong, whatever his name is. May the people be freed soon. But that comes down to tyranny. And eventually, that's the whole point of Bitcoin. It separates money and state, and this completely dissolves borders and tyranny like that, and people can be finally free to be themselves and have the liberty humans yearn to breathe free. So eventually, I pray that these people are going to be free too. Like you said, they're operating under bad incentives. Maybe some of them are not bad people, but they have to do it because the leader's ordering them to.
Yeah, 100%. But when it comes to BitRefill over here, I mean, this is good comms, right? Like if you were hacked and you had customer records leaked, like they laid it all out here, and they made it clear what they are doing in terms of taking huge steps to improve their cybersecurity. They tell people what to do in terms of protecting themselves after this leak. And they're making it clear they want to improve and do better in the future. I mean, BitRefill, I think, is one of the best businesses in Bitcoin. They've been around for 10 years, right? And they're a great way to turn your Bitcoin and make it spendable, right? Turn your Bitcoin into gift cards and then go spend it anywhere. So before there was Square merchants accepting Bitcoin, BitRefill really filled a huge hole in the market. I wish them the best. No one wants to see a Bitcoin company like this
and
get
it could
hacked.
be any of us. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. It could be any of us, that could happen too. These guys are very skilled. The Lazarus Group are extremely skilled. They spend their whole lives, all of their waking hours doing that. So it could be, could be anybody, a strike employees or whomever. So I wish them the best too. I hope they're able to fix that.
100%. And right now, I'd like to give a big shout out to people who do take your Bitcoin security very seriously. And that would be our friends over at Rhino. Before, getting access to Bitcoin financial services was slow, clunky, and scattered across all these different platforms. Well, Rhino is changing that. Rhino is the next generation Bitcoin banking app designed to handle all of your Bitcoin needs in one place. Here's what you can do with Rhino. Of course, you can buy Bitcoin with some of the lowest fees anywhere. That means more sats for every dollar you spend. Make payments over the Lightning Network instantly with near zero fees. Send cash globally, fast and easy. If you're like Gus, you got family around the world, you can send them fiat over Lightning rails. And you can also set up automatic savings, DCA, so you stack sats on your schedule and build wealth over time. Coming soon to Rhino, you'll be able to pay bills, direct deposit, borrow against your Bitcoin, and save for retirement all within one app. And of course, security is a top priority. Rhino lets you protect your Bitcoin with biometric verification, 24/7 fraud protection, and the confidence of knowing your Bitcoin is never, ever rehypothecated. And if you are a Casa user and you got multi-sig, you can even use Rhino as one of your keys for your multi-sig. Go today to rhinobitcoin.com, tap the link below in the description on YouTube, and use the code Bitcoin News. They will drop you $10 in free Bitcoin into your account just for getting started. Great friends of the program, awesome people. Hit them up on Twitter if you've got any questions. An amazing place to buy your Bitcoin and handle all of your Bitcoin financial needs all in one place. Go check out rhinobitcoin.com. All right, Gus, we are back. We've got more headlines to go into. This next one I would like to talk about is Morgan Stanley. So now they are getting into the Bitcoin ETF game. These guys have only got 4 ETFs with their name on it, and now Bitcoin is going to be the next one. So they just amended their S1 for their proposed Bitcoin ETF, and with $8 trillion of assets under management, even a 2% allocation implies $160 billion, roughly 3 times the size of BlackRock's IBIT. Pretty crazy stuff. So yeah, we posted about this, and then Fong Li, the CEO of MSCR, he quote tweeted it and put out these numbers. And yeah, this could be a really big deal. Morgan Stanley believes in Bitcoin. They are running towards this asset because they know they've seen what the Bitcoin ETF did for BlackRock, the #1 performing ETF launch of all time.
In history.
And now Morgan Stanley wants a piece. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Absolutely. Ultimately, again, comes down to incentives. These companies are going to do what's best for their pockets and their clients, and they have seen what Bitcoin does and what it is. A lot of them have had that epiphany, and they're Bitcoiners, people at the top. I'm talking about Larry Fink and the people who work under him, and of course, Fidelity, Citigroup, ARK. All these people, they do what's best for their clients and their pockets and the long run. And I tell you, they're not in it to lose it, guys. They're not in it to lose. They're going to make sure that they also lobby the government to implement Bitcoin-friendly laws. They are the ones with the ultimate power, and they're saying that Bitcoin, it's done now. Bitcoin is inevitable, in my opinion.
It's made its way. I mean, 17 years old, and it is everywhere now, right? From circular economies in Africa or Central America to the streets of financial power, such as Wall Street. I mean, Bitcoin it's many things to many different people. And now the bankers are realizing, oh, wow, we're going to be left in the dust if we do not embrace it. So,
and if I may say, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but my heart goes out to the sub-Saharan Africans. People, we have Western financial privilege, and we're very fortunate. I'm very fortunate that my mother brought me here when she did, when I was little. I grew up, I'm a proud American. We don't know what it is to not have a bank account, to not be able to pay your bills, to not be able to send money, to not be able to receive money for family that are here. They want to send money over. And apparently Rhino Bitcoin does all that too. They're really good, but it's very important for all of humanity to be banked. And it's basically societal energy. Sailor's right, and they must have access to that too. I think it's a human right, like a utility, like a electrical. And Bitcoin miners are building electrical grids for humans in remote locations of the globe. So
yeah, you're right. I mean, people do deserve the right to be banked, but also it's like, what kind of bank, right? Like, even in America, if you've got a bank account, that money's no longer yours once you put it in there. Technically, that's not your money. That's the bank's money. They can do what they want with it. They can lend it out to whoever they deem fit. Whereas with Bitcoin, if you bank yourself with Bitcoin, that money is yours. It stays yours. And
yes, sir.
That's one thing I think a lot of even Americans need to wrap their head around.
They don't even have the reserves anymore, right? They used to say, hey, at least if we loan out $10, we have to have $1. They don't even need that anymore. They just loan everything out. They don't have your money. It's not your money. It's not in the bank. It just, Bitcoin is the absolute necessity for humanity.
Yeah, not since COVID. They got rid of all reserve requirements during COVID, and they haven't brought them back. So as you were saying before, we alluded to this with stable coins. A lot of people around the world who don't have bank accounts use stable coins, right? And hopefully Bitcoin as well. But the thing about stable coins is that they can be frozen. And so there's this new site called stables.rip that allows you to track stablecoin censorship, logging every USDC and USDT freeze across Ethereum and Tron, highlighting over $2.1 billion of frozen by issuers with on-chain blacklist control. So you can take a look here. So stables.rip, I mean, it's pretty great. $2 billion. I'm sure. I mean, Tether has made it very clear that they work closely with law enforcement now. And of course, Elizabeth Warren has been talking about how terrorist organizations like Hamas like to use stable coins as a way to move money. But this is a reality here that needs to be made very clear to people who use these stable coins, is that they can be frozen at the flick of a switch.
Bitcoin is better.
Bitcoin is better. Bitcoin is better. Yeah. Dude, what do you think about this?
Well, like Bitcoin is better, and unfortunately, money like electricity, like the telephone, people you don't like are gonna use it. I don't
Mhm.
like Hamas. I don't like that or this organization, but they're humans that have the right to use electricity, telephones, and money. And Bitcoin is better, even though stable coin and again goes back to incentives. The people are going to have their stable coins frozen and seized. They're going to say, you know what, never again, Bitcoin only, and they're going to move to Bitcoin. Human incentives.
Incentives, yeah. Was at a AI agent workshop at PubKey 2 weeks ago, put on by the people of Spiral BTC, the Bitcoin program over by Block, of course, Jack Dorsey's Block. And they were saying that, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a battle between whether AI agents use stablecoins or Bitcoin. But just like humans, agents will probably learn over time that the incentives push you towards Bitcoin, the sovereignty, the fact that it can't be frozen, and that you are able to move your money as you wish, that it is permissionless. That is what will make Bitcoin win in the end with these agents.
Yes, sir. And I think people are just going to come to the realization as humans, all of it, as a unanimous consensus that people are going to say freedom and liberty means freedom and liberty, and people can have it.
Bada bang. And to wrap up our market section, we got block fills over here. So they were a big institutional OTC desk. They filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy with 50 to 100 million in assets versus 100 to 500 million in liabilities. So they halted withdrawals. They lost $75 million and are facing lawsuits over alleged misuse of customer funds. So since October 10th, a lot of people have been wondering when the dead bodies will float to the surface, and it seems as if Block Fills is one of these entities. They were swinging pretty big with a lot of big players, and now they no longer exist. Definitely worth checking out this story because it seems as if this probably won't be the first one that we see file for bankruptcy in the wake of October 10th, that really changed the Bitcoin and crypto markets. But of course, it's these guys who mess around heavily with the other stuff who are most threatened. And yeah, they're no longer with us.
And that's why people need to watch your show. You need to be informed in this stuff. You need to hear, even on the daily basis, things change fast like that. So I always tell people, keep watching Bitcoin news because you're going to get the newest information. I kid you not, I've learned so much today. And you know what? I'm going to jump into the quantum resistant algorithms and how to move my coins and what, just study all that and make sure that I'm up to date because God forbid, you never know what happens tomorrow. So stay informed, guys. Watch Bitcoin news.
Absolutely. And for the last quarter of the show, we are going to talk about Maxi Madness, of course, the yearly competition that pits Bitcoin influencers against each other to find out who is the ultimate Bitcoin Maxi. So we're going to have Rod Palmer join us in a short little bit. But before we get into that, I want to talk to you, get your opinion on what is going on in the Middle East right now, right? Like the national debt just surpassed $39 trillion. It seems as if Trump might have finding a way to off ramp from this conflict, but also at the same time, we have the Iranians coming out and saying, no, we're nowhere near the end of this thing. We've got desalination plants possibly being targeted. We've got the UAE, which was the center of trillions of dollars worth of wealth, issuing emergency style liquidity backstops for its banks. This problem is nowhere close to being solved and could cause a greater economic and just humanitarian catastrophe than anything we saw in the great financial crisis. So I want to get your opinion. You like to talk about Bitcoin separating money from state. How does Bitcoin play into this? And what does it mean when we're over $39 trillion in debt here in America?
I mean, it gets ridiculous, right? Eventually, by 2050, it's going to be 100 trillion. It's growing every 6 months is growing by $1 trillion. Don't forget the interest rate goes up with that, sometimes up and sometimes down, but still, because of the compounding, the sheer amount of the debt that we own, it becomes such a large, ridiculous, unfathomable number that eventually it's going to collapse. All of the currencies in history have at some point collapsed, be it the Portuguese, be it the Swedish, be it the Americans, the British. And so, but also Trump is just a man. Some people have like Trump derangers. If you about him, he's a guy. Men lie. Only God is truthful. Men lie, and that's what they do. Or I'm gonna cancel it. I'm gonna make sure that the debt will pay it off or pay half of it or whatever he promised. It's not going to happen unless of course, Mr. President, if you start to printing money, kill the dollar to buy Bitcoin, 3 to 5, even 6 or 8 million Bitcoins. If you do that, we can pay off the debt, keep our promise. Even in the end of it, we can have some Bitcoin left over for the national treasury.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, of course, it was over a year ago now. It was March of 2025 that they did the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Executive Order. We still haven't gotten an audit, right? They still haven't said how many Bitcoin they have. Since then, they did this huge seizure from this guy who was Prince Group, the head of Prince Group, doing this pig butchering operation over in Cambodia, where they had they had people, of course, scamming people in America and Europe out of their Bitcoin, and they just seized another 125,000 Bitcoin from this guy. So we have no idea how much Bitcoin the American government actually has. It's a question as to whether hopefully that would restrain the government, right? If we are able to back our currency with Bitcoin, I feel like we're a long way from all that happening. As we said before, people need to go through pain before they can really find the truth and are willing to deal with constraints such as giving up the money printer in order to provide a more sound financial future. But it's it's crazy out there right now.
I think we'd be surprised at how quickly things can change. I have a lot of hope in humanity. I'm a human supremacist, and in the end of the day, humans will survive and thrive. And I think eventually we are going to be able to, in our lifetimes, to separate money and state. Finally take the money spigot out of the hands of the banksters. And, well, we're just not going to use their money. We use Bitcoin, and their whatever thing hyperinflates and dies.
That'd be wild. If it was within our lifetimes, that would be absolutely wild. I mean, all we can do is try to push our little bit forward each and every day and make the world a bit better for our kids, teach them about Bitcoin and the essentials of sound money and using it as a foundation for your personal financial life. And hopefully that will echo on into the future. And as we were saying before, as Bitcoin will progress one funeral at a time, as people like Lindsey Graham are finally out of office. Hopefully more peaceful and sound money initiatives will be.
Is he out of office?
No, he's not. He's been there forever.
God, okay. And, I was like, yes.
Man. Thankfully, he has no kids to replace him in office forever. So that's good. Cool. So we're going to hop over into our Bitcoin Maxi Madness segment. But before we do that, we got to give a shout out to the good people over at Arch. What is Arch? Arch is the world's leading destination for Bitcoin-backed loans. Arch provides world-class security and white glove service so you never have to sell your Bitcoin. If you're listening to this, you did the hard part. You stacked Bitcoin. You held and you didn't panic sell. But life happens, new opportunities, taxes, big purchases, and selling Bitcoin just feels wrong. Well, here's what you can do. You can work with Arch. Think of it like a flexible line of credit with rates starting as low as 8.5% APR. Borrow what you need, repay anytime, and only pay interest on what you use, all without triggering a tax event. The best part, the Bitcoin stays yours. Strict, no rehypothecation policy, so your collateral is never lent out. And it's held on qualified, insured, bankruptcy, remote custody with full transparency. So go today, get your cash at archlending.com. That's ARCHlending.com/daily-stack, and you'll get 1% off your interest rate with Arch. So yeah, if you need to access some liquidity without selling your Bitcoin, head over to Arch. Great people there. All right. Next, we got the man himself. Let's get him up here. Mr. Rod Balmer. Sir, how you doing?
Doing well. How's it going, guys? How's it going, Rob?
Good.
Very good.
We're past the Ides of March. We're towards the tail of it, but that just means that we are in the thick of Bitcoin Maxi Madness. You and your team over at the Bugle are organizing this competition. Please give us a roundup of what has happened thus far. Where are we standing? Who's won? Who's lost? What's the 411?
We are in the middle. of the Maxi Madness Sweet 16. We're down to the final 16 competitors. We started with 64, actually 68 if you count the play-in rounds. 70. And right now, the biggest surprise, Michael Saylor, Lynn Alden, and Lou Jr., all the top 1 seeds are out. The only 1 seed that is left is Yellow himself. Of course, Yellow is the 2024 Maxi Madness champion. Right now in the Node region, Giacomo Zugo is setting up, and Yellow, they are on a collision path to meet for the 2024 rematch of the championship, where Yellow defeated Giacomo. But perhaps the biggest story, in my opinion, is I did some investigating this weekend after a pseudonymous tip that I received from a retired pleb. And it turns out that the 15th seed who is facing Lawrence Lepard right now in the Maxi Madness Sweet 16, Tim D. Tim D is short for Timothy Bitcoins. He is the youngest brother of Joey and Teddy Bitcoins, the internet trolls. Teddy Bitcoins, if anybody follows along, last year, Teddy Bitcoins jester matched during Maxi Madness. Allegedly, he used bots to win the tournament. He defeated Michael Saylor and Yellow and Lynn Alden on his way, and Dr. Adam Back on his way to winning Maxi Madness 2025. A lot of people were pissed off. A lot of people were angry. Crash outs were widespread. And if Timothy Bitcoins follows the path of his older brother, Teddy, I predict a lot more crash outs will follow.
Could this guy right here, Timothy Bitcoins, as we've just found out is his full name, if he wins it, it would be pandemonium. I'd love to get Gus's take on all this because he's been a Bitcoin maxi for years now, and he's still relatively new to Maxi Madness. How do you take this competition? All these big names are out. Saylor's out. Lynn Alden's out. We've got Yellow still out there, but this guy's coming for him. Timothy Bitcoins. What do you think about this competition as it's playing out so far, Gus?
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I can't believe Saylor and Lynn Alden's out. But where do we go, Rod? Where do we go if you want to participate in voting and stuff? How does that work, if you don't mind me asking?
You got to go right here. You go to Bugle Bitcoin. Bugle News. It's all polls. So I was about to participate today, and then I realized I'm probably going to have to pull this up. And so I like to keep my vote private, as is my due American right. So I voted on the first one, and I'm sorry, Giggler, but I voted for Giacomo over you. So I'd love to get Gus's votes for the remainder of the round of 16. So here we have NVK versus Adam Back. Gus, who are you voting for? Who do you think is a better maxi between these two?
I would say NVK, because I always root for the little guy, because sometimes you get such powerful tweets from them, man. They have a lot of insight because they live in the working class every day, and they share our struggle, of working and actually have to sweat for every sat that we buy. So I usually go with the little guy,
Okay. Guy. Well, I don't know. NVK, I don't think he would accept you calling him a little guy.
I don't think physics would accept calling NVK a little guy, if you know what I mean.
No offense to NVK. You know how Adam Back is referred in Satoshi white paper. He's huge.
Of course, yes. All right, so I will go with your vote here and select NVK over Adam Back as the official vote for Bitcoin News. Ooh. Oh, and as we see here, Adam Back is still ahead, 56-43.
See what I'm saying? He's huge.
He's Adam Back. Yeah, he's made his way through the tournament. He had to fight off some people who were who was he up against in the first round, Rod?
I believe Adam Back faced. Well, I have to look it up. Hold on. It's so much to keep track of. He was the number 2 seed, and he was facing a 15 seed. Can we guess it? Hold on. Let me pull up the bracket.
Had to have been
That's so much crazy stuff. It would have been somebody from the not side.
Yes.
It would have been He was the winner between Chris Guida and Dathan Ohm in the play-in rounds. Dathan beat Chris, and then Adam Back faced and defeated Dathan Ohm in the first round.
Wow. Two big contributors to Bitcoin, Dathan Ohm and Adam Back. Adam Back won that one. And then Adam, he beat Shinobi in the following round, correct?
Correct. That's where we are today. So Adam faced Dathan, followed by Shinobi. If he beats NVK today, he will face either Rob Hamilton or Giacomo Zucco. So I'm looking forward to that either way.
Wonderful. Nice. Yes, that's going to be a big head-to-head matchup there.
And I'm sorry, who won last year again? Was it Yellow?
It was Teddy Bitcoins. Teddy Bitcoins defeated Michael Saylor. I think the final tally was like 1 million votes.
Wow. There's lots of accusations of bots being a part of the process. Last year, Teddy Bitcoins swept out of nowhere, came out of nowhere, and really took the competition by storm. And this year, we've got Timothy B possibly repeating, doing that same exact script there. But we got some more to go over here. I think I know who you're going to vote for here, Gus. We got Uncle Rockstar of BTC Pay Server fame versus Casey Rodamore of Ordinal's infamy. Who do you pick out of
I'm
these
biased,
two?
man. Uncle Rockstar. I've had so many lovely interactions with the guy. You know, I'm super biased here, so I'm definitely going to go with him. To be honest, I have a lot to learn. I've been in Bitcoin for 5 years now, and I don't know who Casey Rodner is, so I'm sorry.
Uncle Rockstar guy. He's the Ordinals.
He invented Ordinals.
Oh.
Yeah.
Uncle Rockstar. Yeah.
Where have you interacted with Uncle Rockstar?
Oh, just in tweets. You know, he posts some things, and I like it. You know, there's so many tweets in my head I can't recall exactly, but it's always nice interaction. I retweet him, repost him, you know, whatever you want to call it.
Nicest guy in the space, Uncle Rockstar. He's everybody's favorite uncle. And Uncle Rockstar defeated the other Unc in Bitcoin, Newt Stanholm, in the first round. And then, of course, the Saylor Slayer, Uncle Rockstar defeated Michael Saylor in the second round.
Wow. That's big. That's huge, man.
That is he can take that to his grave. He'll always have that. He beat Saylor in Maxi Madness. Yeah, if I had to vote here, I would go Uncle Rockstar 2. Met him in person in New York City during the debut of the BTC Pay Server documentary. That was interesting. Took my wife to that. She didn't really know what was going on, and she was even more confused by this guy wearing a balaclava in the middle of the summer in New York City. But he definitely was a rock star. People just gravitate towards him. People just want to be around this guy, Uncle Rockstar. They want to take pictures with him, and he's got a nice firm lead right now in Maxi Madness. All right, we're making our way further down the bracket. We've got Nifty Nay versus Samson Mao. Do you know who Nifty is, Gus?
I do not. And you know what? I'm biased here too. I feel terrible because I'm so biased. Samson Mao sent me. He sent me. I guess so. Samson Mao sent me some stickers, and I consider him a personal friend. He sent some stuff to my house. Samson Mao, I love him. So definitely Samson Mao. I'm always interacting with him. Oh, that's surprising right there.
Wow.
Nifty 57%. Wow.
Yes. Give us a breakdown of this matchup, Rod.
And Nifty is she is the organizer behind BTC++. And Base 58, I believe, is the name. It's an educational resource to teach, plebs, noobs, whoever's interested. Want to learn the code, want to learn the protocol, some of the technical specifics. But she's a great educator. I don't know if she's a former or still current Blockstream employee. She's all over the space, very, very well liked. And she defeated BTC Sessions to get here. So she's on a hot streak as well. Nifty's great. So, a Nifty Uncle Rockstar showdown is like a showdown between two of the nicest, most well-liked people in the industry. It's going to be a tough decision depending on who you want to vote for. So, Gus, remember this. Uncle Rockstar versus Nifty, you have one day. You have 24 hours less or so to learn more about Nifty before you make your informed decision. Your civic duty to Bitcoin Twitter to
I'm
vote in
into it now,
Maxi
man.
Madness.
I'm actually very into it. I'm gonna follow this every year now. That's fun.
Yeah, dude. It's very fun. It's very fun because people also crash out. People get very upset about this competition and it leads to lots of laughs. So you got to have it, just go into it with good cheer. It's supposed to just be fun, bring the community together. And of course, one person who always brings the community together is Yellow.
Yes, sir.
And he's in a matchup versus Danny Knowles, host of What Bitcoin Did. If you had to pick, Gus, what would you choose here?
Oh, that's a tough one, man. I love Denny Knowles. I love Yellow, but I'm so undecided right now. Let me go back to some interactions we've had. I have to go with Yellow because he's made me laugh so much. He's just unbelievably funny. He provided me so much entertainment.
He's a classic. He's an absolute legend in the space, and he's got a pretty good shot of winning again, being the first repeat champion of Maxi Madness. Yes. Okay. And let's continue to round this out here. We got Lawrence Lepard versus the legend himself, Timothy Bitcoins, the man who came out of nowhere to really take this competition by storm. Who are you voting for here?
Oh man, of course, Lawrence Lepard. Unfortunately,
All
I don't know.
All right.
Timothy.
Oh,
yeah.
Lots of votes in this one. And Timothy Bitcoins has a long way to go if he's going to try to win. Are you interested or surprised by these results, Rod?
How about surprised? I think the obvious favorite, but when people, they're first exposed to these polls, they start making their way around the timeline. They say, oh, Lawrence Lepard, the big print. That's my vote. I don't know who this Timothy Bitcoins guy is. But as the day goes on, people get off work, or they, the plants, they get out of the group chats, they get out of spaces, and they head to the polls. They see Timothy Bitcoins. They've been a fan of Timothy Bitcoins. They've boosted him to the Sweet 16 already. They're going to bring the vote a little bit closer. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but if Timothy Bitcoins is anything like his brother Teddy, it could go down to the wire. I mean, Teddy Bitcoins beat Yellow by one vote in the final second of Maxi Madness' Elite 8 last year. This was, there was people screenshotting. I mean, people were watching it live. We almost tried to live stream it because it was so close. That's what can happen, especially once we get into these later rounds. The stakes are even higher.
Wow. All right. Well, Timothy Bitcoins, you still have a shot here then. Best of luck to you. 19 hours to go. All right. Let's finish this out. So we got Efrat versus Justine Harper. Do you know either of these two guys?
I do. Yeah. Efrat is awesome. I watch her show sometimes. Efrat for sure. I choose her because she also provides great entertainment for me. And I watch her sometimes once a week or so. Oh, Justin. Who is that gentleman that Justin?
Justine Harper's this model. Yes. She used to work at Unchained Capital. Now she is at home with her shotgun, her babies, and her raw milk. She's having a good time. She's not on that timeline as much anymore, but she is a fan favorite.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a picture of her walking outside with a shotgun, and she looks menacing. Like you don't want to mess with. I
love it.
Over here.
I love it.
And then for the last one, I wondered if you know either of these Bitcoin maxis either, Gus. We got Chris Seedor coming out of Europe, out of Germany, coming strong. And then we've got Aaron Redwing, the Bitcoin astrologer.
No, I do not. You see, I have a lot to learn, guys. I'm going to humble myself and do my homework for next year.
Yeah, dude.
I've seen Aaron Redwing's name sometimes.
So this is Chris. Chris is one of the tallest guys in Bitcoin, if not the tallest guy in Bitcoin. He's easily over 6'6". And then we got Erin. She was going for her Bitcoin a PhD, I believe, from maybe Berkeley.
She worked at NASA too.
She worked at NASA.
An internship at NASA, and now she has moved on to a much more prestigious job. She is a Bitcoin podcaster. Her and Casey Lormore, excuse me, they co-host the Hell Money podcast. It is a Bitcoin podcast. Talk a lot about meta protocols, layer twos, ordinals. It's not for everybody, but it is for many. And Aaron is Chris is the last man standing in the hot region, which is the region that they're coming out of. But Aaron's hot. And Aaron has a lot of momentum behind her. I'm excited to see how this one turns out.
I'm going to go with Aaron because we don't have enough Bitcoin podcasts. I'm definitely going with Aaron. I think everybody should have a Bitcoin
Amen.
podcast and spread the Bitcoin message to the world.
Wow. I'm just going to put it on record that I'm going to stand with my fellow man. Men must unite, and I would vote for Chris if I could choose. But this is Gus's choice here, so we're going with Aaron. Wow, look at that 50-50 split.
Oh.
This is a tight one. The hot section is still undecided. Power to you, Chris. You know, we've known each other for a while now. I met him back at Miami Bitcoin conference in 23. And yeah, he's a great memer himself, great businessman too. He's making a go of it when it comes to these different Bitcoin businesses, Bitcoin insurance, in the stand, like hammering out your seed phrase. I respect to Chris and Aaron. I don't know you, but we got your vote for from Gus over here. So, wow, what a great rundown just here.
How long you been in Bitcoin for, Rob?
Rod, yeah.
Oh, Rod, no, you both. How long,
Oh,
Rob?
me.
How long have you been in Bitcoin? Out of curiosity.
Yeah, myself personally, I purchased my first Bitcoin in 2016, but then it got stolen from me.
Oh,
So yeah, I didn't get back into it till 2020, hardcore. And so yeah, I guess it's going on over 5 years now. Yeah.
nice. So
I bought my first Bitcoin in 2017, but I did not start listening to 40 hours of Bitcoin podcasts per week and getting really into the culture and the deep history and really fascinated with it until 2020, early 2020, when COVID hit.
I think three similar stories right here. And now we are deep within the community. We're all a bunch of maxis here, and we're just trying to figure out who's the ultimate Bitcoin maxi. So, guys, go cast your votes over on the Bugles page. All the polls are still open for another 19 hours, so you'll be able to get off work and put your research in, figure out who you believe is the best maxi over there. And when does the competition end, Rod? The whole thing. When's the finals?
Tomorrow is the Elite Eight. Wednesday, Final Four, and then it all comes down to Thursday's matchup for the Maxi Madness Championship. Whoever had the best bracket in the tournament bracket pick'em challenge will win an Bitmain Antminer S19 J Pro, 2 tickets to the Revolution Rocks Music Festival, and then a bag full of swag: Burn Miner Speed Charity, Ungovernable Misfit, Cypherpunk stickers, Soap Miner, Tallow Soap, and more. Some t-shirts, some swag. It's going to be good stuff.
nice. Good prizes, man.
Yeah, each year they keep one-upping themselves, bigger and bigger, badder and badder. It's quite the competition you guys have put together. Very happy to help get the word out when it comes to it. I think it's great for the community. We need more things like this. Bitcoiners need to rally together, you know? Like we are birds of the same feather. We must show it. So let's have some fun, guys.
I'm guilty of it, man. I should show up to more Bitcoin related, interactions or meetings. I gotta go. I'm gonna go to the next mass adoption. I've already saved the date on the calendar with the wife and the kids. So Rhode Island,
Nice.
New Hampshire.
You're going to Camp Nakamoto.
Yes, sir. New
Nice.
Hampshire. Yeah,
I'll
June
be there.
16th.
I'll be there myself.
Oh, no way. Sweet. I'll see you
Yes,
then.
sir.
Sweet.
Yes, sir. We'll get to meet. Cool. There you have it, folks. That's how Bitcoiners do it. All right. Well, I want to thank both of you for coming on the live show, Bitcoin News Weekly. We are live every single day, 5 days a week here with the Daily Stack, bringing you the best content in Bitcoin. Very thankful for you two showing up. Shout out to our sponsors. We got Arch, we got Rhino. Go check out them. And until next time, this has been your host, Rob Wallace. Go participate in Maxi Madness. It really makes the season really just.
It's also on Nostr. Make sure you check out the Nostr bracket. If you're a Nostr pleb, go over there. Totally different bracket. You vote with sats, not votes. It's great.
I love it.
All right, everybody. Gus, great having you on. Rod, as always,
Thank you.
gentlemen,